Hi, welcome to the channel. This is the foreigner channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how the two German Shepherd dogs that were present. I'm talking about the two German Shepherd dogs of Betsy and Jean and Betsy Hackman that tragically passed away. They were found dead in their New Mexico home, nearby the Santa Fe area. And so I'm going to be very clear about what went on. This we know the timeline. What happened to um, actor Gene Hackman, and that happened to, that went on that around 3 weeks ago now, a little more than 3 weeks, and how did everything developed, the event, and what the role that played. There were three dogs. We know that there were three dogs in the premises on the premises. One of them, the Australian Kelpie, that was confined in the bathroom area and was found dead. We know about that. Of course, we know about the two German Shepherds that was found. Um, Rescuers, well, the first person that found these two dogs, the German Shepherd, on the premises was the maintenance worker that came that day to make the 911 call. So as the event was unfolding, the focus of the investigation, it turned now to the dogs. The only witnesses, very much, witnesses, not exactly the eyewitnesses of the moment that Jean Hartman and Betsy collapsed to their death. Of course, there was, the separation of time was 7 days. We know that, just to recall, remember that the uh, Betsy died February 11th, and Gene Hackman died the 18th, with a difference of days, of different times of 7 days. So many things went on those 7 days. And previous to those 7 days, it's important to remember what happened. And as we know, German Shepherds, comparing to any other breed of dogs, they are very special dogs in a way that they are military dogs. They are police dogs. They do work, police work, police investigations, and we have seen it. Many of us have been to airports, to terminal area, seaport area, many important buildings. We have, seen on the news also, after natural disasters, they are the one going to rescue, going with rescuers, of course, that go to after like an earthquake. Remember the Mexico earthquake, like over like 25, 26 years ago? Those were German shepherds, um, rescuing people from way down deep side of the, even 9/11, when 9/11 happened, afterward, after what happened in 9/11, rescuers, the first people who went, of course, to rescue the people in New York on 9/11. Of course, many people passed away, but after that, I mean, at the aftermath of the disaster, like 9/11, or big earthquakes or tsunamis or big natural disasters anywhere in Haiti, we saw that. We have seen it in Chile. We have seen it, different, mine accidents where the earth collapse. So they're very much, they're talented. They're extremely intelligent, smart, and of course strong, very strong. And I'm gonna go a little deeper into what could have played the strength of these dogs in the event where, when this really happened, with the first tragic event that took place when Betsy collapsed. Let's remember that these two dogs were on the premises. 12, there are 12 acres, of land there. There's the compound, the mansion, the compound, the huge place, and 12 acres is a lot. Of course, for these two dogs, I'm not talking about the Australian Kelpie, because that was a sick dog. He was sick. He was in a recovery. This puppy was in a recovery, and he was confined to the bathroom area. He was, this dog was nursing, but the two German shepherds were in patrol. That's the only way. That's their job. Their main mission is of protection. They have an instinct of protection, and they're, of course, they were trained. The trainers already, they have they had their statement about what are the personality of these two dogs, and with that kind of personality, with the training of being guards and the instinct of protection, they're very territorial. That's what I'm trying to say. They're very territorial, and they had all the 12 acres to protect, not just to protect Betsy personally, like a guarding dog, like a or Gene Hackman protected personally and being with them, being everywhere they move, inside and around the house. That's a location which is they're indoor, inside the house, of course outside the house, which is many things are happening through the day. So their main job was to be on patrol of the whole premises. That was their main job. Even the day of this fatal event, what happened? They were they were inside the house. But let's talk about what if one of them were inside the house instead of the Australian Kelpie. Remember, the Australian Kelpie was the one that was found dead inside, right? Inside to a confined place. Like the confined place meaning the description is like the closet area. There was a closet area where they had like a little fence, most likely a fence, because they're not too aggressive. Australian Kelpie are very loyal. They're good dogs. They're fairly strong. They're smart. And they have protective instinct, but not like German Shepherd. German Shepherd are natural. They're natural born, guards. And of course, if they are, if they are tempted to do anything, if people get aggressive to them, they can be a killers too. They can be like just like pit bulls. I don't want to get into the issue of the pit bulls because some pit bulls are really they don't recognize their owners sometimes, and they have been fatal situation with pit bulls. No wonder in which pit bulls sometimes they don't recognize their own owners. Even pit bulls that were bred from a baby. I mean that you have you nurse from a baby, the baby stage, and you bring them up all the way, and being nice big pit bulls. Sometimes they don't recognize their owner. Some pit bulls had killed their own owners. They just swapped the neck of the owner, their master, and they somehow they go crazy. They go wild in their brains. They have not been able to figure out what goes in their brain that have pit bulls to flip. But going back to the German Shepherd, at the moment, if one of the two German Shepherd, especially the one that's pure, because remember the two German Shepherd, one of them is mixed German Shepherd. The other one is pure. The purest, of course, the purest is the one more stronger, aggressive, smarter. I mean, he had all that what needs to have. If the one that the name is Bear, that was the one that is pure German Shepherd, not mixed. So if that was Bear that was inside that confined place, right, that confined bathroom where Betsy was found dead, if that happens while if Betsy had collapsed while on the watch of the German Shepherd could have been he could have just get out from where the confined place was, like jump or break it or chew the fence, or if the German Shepherd was in the closet, he had the ability to even smash the sheetrock wall. I mean, just like with his, strong dogs. These are strong dogs. A German Shepherd would, he has this strength. The German has this strength, double or triple of his weight. If his weight is 70 pounds, if 70 pounds times 3 is like 210 pounds. So he could have 200-pound person strength, the same as one like I'm 160, right? So a German Shepherd could have been, it's stronger than me. Some German Shepherd, only 70 or 80 pounds weight, is stronger than myself. Is stronger than me. I mean, he could just, if he comes on top of me, he can just, smash me into the floor. I mean, that in no time. So even in a confined place, the instinct of protection and the instinct, of guarding his master, that triggers, when the action takes place, they are very assertive, they are very attentive, on guard for any situation that can take place. So in an emergency where Betsy collapsed, if that could have been the German Shepherd witnessing that, I mean, seeing the master collapsing, he could have right away he could have done something right away, but it wasn't the German Shepherd present when Betsy collapsed on that bathroom to her death. She died shortly after, a few hours later. That's what the timeline, and that's what the statement from the chief investigator's office is telling us, that it wasn't instant, because it wasn't like a heart attack or stroke for Betsy in the Betsy's case, but it could have taken a few more hours to die. I mean, she collapsed, but she was on coma, and she was moving, trying to move, and trying to ask for help, and most likely Betsy was asking for help to the Australian Kelpie that was confined. But of course, the Australian Kelpie, the dog that was found dead, didn't have the strength, didn't have that instinct, that killer instinct, that guarding and protective instinct that really a German Shepherd natural are born to do that job. So, having said that, what I'm saying is that it could have been this event just in swapping places, right? If that German Shepherd was inside the house at the moment that Betsy had collapsed, to her death, the story could have been different story, right? It could have been different. We can be telling a different story now, right? Things could have been really different. But what's going on with German Shepherd in that what went on in that house, in that mansion, was that they were outside, and then the following event, I mean the following days, of course, they had to guard. I mean, they once they came in, eventually they came into the house. I mean, most likely they had their food, they had their water. I mean, outside the house, where where they had their own place to sleep. Most likely outside the house, because they are guarding dogs, right? They're guarding the whole premises, the 12-acre premises. They're patrolling the area, so they had everything they need outside. But when everything, when they ran out of food, they ran out of water, where they start coming inside. They start, and most likely there is one of the statement of the guy, the maintenance. Remember the maintenance worker who called 911, describing the event, the scene, this scene, and he said that the door was halfway open. So being halfway open meaning, well, most likely on those more than 2 weeks before they were, when they found, I mean, in more than 2 weeks, no human being came to the place. Only the German Shepherds who were patrolling the area, and they were coming in and outside of the house, of course. And that's we know for a fact that door that was halfway open, that the German Shepherd was the one pushed the door. Somehow they're very smart. I mean, they can have just unscrew the knob or push it, or somehow they went in there. And after they ran out of water outside, most likely they were drinking from the toilet water, and eating whatever they can eat, of course, in the premises, whatever they can find, mouse or rabbits, anything they can find. So that could have been a life and death difference. I remember that even Gene Hackman was still alive for those 7 days, because we know that the statement from the chief investigator's office said that they found, right, they didn't find any food that so there was no inside his stomach when the autopsy was done, right? They didn't find anything, and there was no evidence, they said in the report, I'm quoting, that Gene Hackman ate anything recently. So that means that he could have, had nothing to eat for days, for most like all those 7 days. And of course, we know that after 7 days, any human being, 7 days with no water and no food, that's it. That's the end of life. That's, and people start dying. The dying process of the last 48 hours, dying of starvation and hunger, is terrible. I mean, the brain is the first that starts breaking down is the brain, because it doesn't receive oxygen. The blood, the heart pumping, the pumping blood, oxygenated, clean, of course, oxygen to the brain is not going properly. I mean, and of course, no nutrition, no, I mean water. Even if just water, I mean it's hard to. The water is doesn't have that much of nutrition. It keeps you alive. I mean our body is very much almost 70% water, right? But you need not nutritious meal, nutritious something nutritious to it. So he didn't have anything to eat for basically for days, almost of the week. No, and no water. I mean, they described that his kidney had poor function. That was the description of the official report of the medical examiner's office. So we know that he didn't have either. I mean, so what went on? Well, these dogs could have just go away, escape meaning find a place where to go, but that protective instinct kept them there, kept them. Now they couldn't do anything. I mean, once the dogs came in, most likely the following day, I mean the following, not the same day of the event that took place, but most likely the following day or the second day, when they just, of course, once they came, what they saw, that's what they saw. And remember that we have seen it at airports at a different location and doing the work, police work, and like I said before, natural disaster. And one of the key elements is that German, because the question would be, how come they didn't anything else, nothing else? They were just there. Remember when this guy, the maintenance guy, came to the premises and made the 911 call? We could hear in the background the dogs barking, not close, but barking in the vicinity meaning say on the premises of the place, right? Because remember that the maintenance worker that found this scene, this macabre, horror scene on that location, he was looking through the window inside, and he was describing what he was describing is the same thing that the Shepherd saw, but 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks earlier. That's the same scene, right? That the German Shepherd, the German Shepherd came in, they couldn't do anything. They could not do anything to rescue them. Remember, if they could have done something, if Betsy had called, had given command to one of the German Shepherd, take me, or grab me from here and take me. I mean, they listen, they go by command. You see the police people and at the airports, and the police guys with the German, they by command they act when they have when they're sniffing like for drugs or bombs or any illegal activity on the luggages. Those of we all have traveled, I mean, through the airports. Once while you're still in the waiting area or trying to check in your luggages, they come, of course, but they come just walking, and they act by command. They act by command. So if Betsy Hackman couldn't have give any command because she was dead, how could have she done it? She couldn't give any command because she was most likely found dead. There was nobody to give command to the German Shepherd to grab it from here or from the arms and drag for help, drag the body for help somewhere, take it outside so somebody can see it, right? So there was no command, and they just came in, when the German Shepherd came into the house, but they didn't come the same exact day when the event took place, when they were still alive. So they came most likely afterwards. What happened after the event, after the dead bodies were dead? I mean, totally not moving. So they said, well, okay, so that's you see, dog psychology, dog training is different than people. Of course, they are very smart. You see, they're very smart. They're very natural. They have natural intelligence to do things. But one thing, one important item is that they act by command, just like they do in rescue missions. They do in civil wars when they go, when in war, areas, war-torn countries, and they help, of course, to rescue after natural disasters. During 9/11, during earthquakes, major earthquakes, the first to arrive on the scene after these natural disasters happen. And of course, people, first-time responders, right? I mean, people, who are trained to do this kind of work. But guess what? German shepherds, they go with them, but they they are trained to do their work by command. So they couldn't have done nothing else but protect the body. But stay there, right? They stood. They did. They were loyal. Their loyalty is unchallenged. I mean, their loyalty is bulletproof. Even they when they came, the rescuers came and took away the dead body of Jean Hackman and Betsy. Of course, they didn't want to leave the premises, and I'm sure that they were barking to go with them in the ambulance. They were chasing the ambulance guys. Most likely, they were following them so they can go with their master. If possible, go inside the ambulance that took those bodies from that house. Go with them wherever they go. We have seen not movies, guys. This is the real news of some dogs that even when at the cemetery where the master was buried, was with the funeral, with everything, at the cemetery where the master is resting, they stay even there. They stay for days sometimes. They don't want to leave. Some of them um, go to even through their funeral. I mean, to the church. Remember I think it was the John McCain or one of these famous people who passed away. The dog was there. I mean, next to the wherever the funeral wake was taking place, the mass at the church. They didn't want to separate from the master. So that's the same way that Betsy and Jean Hackman's dogs were there in the premises. They were there. They were inside, in and out of the house where the body was still there. Of course, they couldn't do nothing to resuscitate the bodies. They were not. They're not trained to. If the body is dead, is dead. I mean, they can give CPR to the bodies. They are not trained to do CPR. They are extremely smart. They have seen people do CPR, but they're still animals. They are not humans, right? All right, we know that, of course. But they're extremely protective. That's one thing. Protective. They're strong. They could have dragged. Betsy was most likely by the size that we see. She was like a 115 or 120 pounds. The German Shepherd easily can drag Betsy out all the way to the gate, right? He could have done that by command, of course, if she was still alive and she gave the command to the German Shepherd. The German Shepherd could have done it, and of course, this action, it could have been that was the difference between life and death. So you see how even humans, sometimes the loyalty of humans around us, sometimes we wonder, right, how they could act. I mean, how they act in an emergency situation. Of course, when nothing is happening, everything is, everybody's, oh, I do anything for you. I mean, the whole thing, we know, right? But some people are ready to stab you in the back. That's what we learn. I mean, we learn, in our long years, and we learn many things in life. And at this stage of life, most of you have seen everything. Most of us, we have seen almost everything that we need to see. And we rely, guess what? Just like that was a good decision from Jean Hackman and Betsy Hackman. That was a good decision to rely, to put their lives in the hands of these dogs, especially the German Shepherd. Of course, they are very good companion. They are totally loyal, right? Loyalty is 100% bulletproof loyalty, protective, strong, and good guard. That kind of premise. Remember, they said that there wasn't any even video cameras. What you need the video camera for if you have that kind of those German Shepherds. I mean, they were the German Shepherds in those 12-acre premises were the video camera. They were the guarding in shifts of 12 hours per 12 hours each. Two dogs, 12 hours per shift, 24/7 guarding those premises. So that's the reason, that's one of the reasons they picked that kind of dog, because they are very good guarding. They're very territorial. They know the whole where the fence goes, the limit of the property. They learn that too. They learn all the way, and they know they can. I mean, if they want to, they could go out the fence. Of course, they can just jump the fence or make a hole underneath the fence. They're strong. They can dig it out underneath the fence. Underneath the fence and get out and chase anything they want to chase. But they're territorial. They are trained to guard the premises of the place, wherever they are, where their location are. So that's where a big difference between death and life. Those German Shepherd. I'm saying one more time. Those German Shepherd were big. Of course, the location where they were at the moment of this tragic event happened made the difference. They weren't inside the house. That's what happened. They weren't inside the house. They came in to the house, of course, after they ran out of food. They ran out of food, but they were, uh, you know, of course, in their mission of protecting the whole property, which is 12 acres. 12 acres is a lot of property, definitely. In a big place with bushes, I mean, all kinds of green areas. I mean, they were there patrolling day and night. Two dogs, 12 hours per shift, and they did their job. We can say it's mission accomplished for them, for those two German shepherds. Of course, I'm talking about Bear, the pure German shepherd, and Nikita, which was the mixed one. They did their job, but of course there is a limit to what they could do without the most important thing. There was nobody there to give them a command to what to do. They didn't do it. They did what they had to do to protect the premises, being there, serve as a companion. Even the dead bodies were there. They were in the mission of companionship, right? The bodies were there. They were protecting the body, basically. They're protecting it so other animals doesn't come inside the house and eat those bodies. That could happen too. If other animals, raccoons, and who knows what kind of animals, remember the door open, that this area is like bushes here. I mean, there are, green areas, all, there are bushes, trees. I mean, this is a raw area, very much a farm area, where any kind of animal can come and eat those bodies. But so they prevented, so all kinds of animals could have come and eat jeans, the corpse laying there and for more than 2 weeks. And nobody cared, of course, the story is, we know the story, nobody until like 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks later. So the dogs were preventing for other animals, they were guarding there, so they don't come and eat those bodies. Betsy Hackman body, that was decomposing, and Jean Hackman's body. So thank God the dogs were there to protect the bodies. So they should give a medal. They should give a medal of honor to these dogs. I mean, of course, now the dogs were transferred to a facility where hopefully they, if they find an adoption place, because it doesn't seem that the kids, the Betsy, the Jean Hackman's kids are gonna take care of. There's no news about them. They've been well taken care of now. They are in a location, in a place where they've been fed. They've been, for the following days after this tragic event happened. But we're gonna see what's the future, in the next few days. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen with those two dogs that were guarding the bodies, protecting the bodies, the dead bodies of Jean Hackman and sadly Betsy Hackman. So guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully, we learn a big lesson. We keep learning new stuff, new things about this event, this situation that is sadly the loss of life of Jean and Betsy Hackman. So if you like this event, content, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and thanks for your loyalty, for all those new subscribers that are coming in. And if you like this video, also give us a thumbs up. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and may God bless you all. Bye.